This is how we do.
So what's going on, YouTube? So we're gonna keep the videos dropping. Welcome to the Matty Eyes channel. So basically what I'm thinking as of right now for a direction with this channel, depending on time and how I'm feeling and what I got going on, I'm gonna try to at least drop one video a week. I'm gonna try, and then that'll be I'm thinking toward the beginning of the week, maybe on a Monday or Tuesday. And then what I'm thinking is from there, maybe do like a live feed as the channel grows and, you know, I gain subscribers and whatnot. Maybe do like a live feed toward the end of the week on maybe more likely on Friday. If I, again, all time permitting. You wouldn't think I would be as busy as I am, but I really am. I'm one of two over-the-road crane trucks that deliver poles on the West Coast. Now we have a yard. In Fresno where they have a bunch of day cab guys, and I really don't know how far out they go. I think they go, obviously northern and southern California, but for the most part, it's me and one other dude. The other guy's based in Arizona. But anyway, needless to say, I get pretty busy. So anyway, this episode anyway, it's kind of fitting. One of the reasons I started the channel was I still get a lot of requests about people asking about trucking. Do I want to get into trucking? What should I do? And I see a lot of guys. Fail at it too. And I think where the problem lies is, I really don't think a lot of people understand exactly what they're getting into this industry. And I sort of, believe it or not, I sort of blame the recruiters. Now I've been driving anywhere, I don't know the exact amount of years. I'm thinking somewhere around 22 to 23 years now. Somewhere around there. And I'll be honest with you, man. When I first got into it, I started at Stevens Transport, running reefer. And I lasted there for about a year, and I hated it. I hated everything about it. And, the recruiter at the time was like, oh man, you're going to see the world, you're going to see the country, you're going to see all the sights, you're going to do this, and that. And I'm going to sound like an old timer, but 20 some odd years ago, the industry was a lot different. It really was. I mean, we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have, there were pagers, but they were like the big brick pagers. You couldn't even see a number. A lot has changed. These everything in the industry has changed. The trucks, the technology, everything. So it kind of sucked back then because I didn't have a computer. At the end of the day, you were stopping at a truck stop and you were using a phone bank. You're waiting in line with your prepaid, minutes card, waiting to, call home and call the wife. And it blew. It really sucked. And it was really, really hard. I didn't even know what I was getting into. The recruiter made it sound like it was all, stripper poles and wheelies out here. You know what I mean? And I just, recruiters will always make any trucking job, any trucking company sound like it's the absolute greatest job, greatest company in the world. And I think they really do the new recruits a disservice. And it's hard. And my hat's off to you guys, man. You know, I mean, look, you're making a decision to complete it, you know, to completely leave what you're doing now, whether you're working in a warehouse, working fast food, you know, construction, whatever. I was doing odd jobs. I didn't really have a career path, you know what I mean? And, you know, I'll be honest with you, man, my hat's off to you. It's hard. It is hard. And this is, you know, I know it sounds corny and cliche, but it's 100% truth. This is not a job, man. This is a lifestyle. It really is. I mean, because basically you live it. You never go home from it. You know, I mean, you do, but not on a daily basis unless you know, you get a local gig. And to be honest with you, I have done it all. I really have. I mean, I've ran heavy wreckers and recovered wrecks and wrecked trucks, and, you know, I've hauled fuel, I've operated heavy machinery, I've hauled heavy machinery, I've hauled fuel, I've hauled things for the military that glow in the dark and GS-35 classified. I've worked for the government testing military vehicles, you know, commercial military vehicles. I mean, I've really I have, I guess, a broad experience in the different facets of the industry and the different kinds of trucking you can do. I've been local, I've been OTR, I've been regional. And, you know, I wish I could say something that would, you know, give you some hope at the end of the tunnel. But in my over 20 years of doing this, it's still hard. It's hard to be away from your loved ones. It's hard to be away from home. You know, missing, you know, holidays and birthdays and graduations and you name it, man. I mean, it's rough. It really is. It's rough. And even to this day, it still gets to me. You know, I mean, granted, you know, I think with the more experience you get and the more knowledge you get, you know, especially if you're at a company for a while, it's easier to get you home for those, you know, for those occasions. You know what I mean? But you're not going to be home for all of them. You're going to miss a lot of stuff. You know, the old lady's going to be sick. You know, right now, you know, Mrs. Ice, she's horribly sick at home, you know, and, you know, we talk on the phone a couple times a day, and, you know, she was telling me how, you know, she wishes I was there to take care of her, you know, because it's kind of what we do. And that really pulls at the heartstrings, guys. It really does. And I'm lucky. I don't have kids of my own. I don't, never had them, you know. It's kind of the way it worked out for me. But I have stepkids. You can call them that. I don't know. Anyway, there's kids in the picture. Excuse me. So, yeah, it's rough, man. It's rough, you know, and you're going to have to find a way to work with that, you know, and to get around that. Now, this career can be very, very rewarding, you know, when you're into it and you get kind of established, you know what I mean? But the advice that I can give you getting into the trucking industry, and I feel bad for the guys because I know a lot of these guys, man, they get into it and they think, man, it's going to be this big adventure, and it is. It will. I mean, you're gonna drive through weather and stuff, and I mean, be in situations that you never thought you were going to be in, and you're going to have to think your way out of this stuff, or you're just going to have to choose not to run. So realize, step one, you want to be a truck driver, right? Step one, out the gate, realize you're going to hate it. I mean, you're going to hate it. And it might not always be that way for you, because I have a distinct love for this industry and for what I do. I really do. But man, first getting your feet wet into this industry, man, it's not going to be what you thought it was. It really isn't. You know what I mean? And it's going to be really hard. And, you know, you need to have a conversation with everybody at home that you're responsible for, and let them know, and really talk and really see if this is something that, you know, that you all can do, because it's a family affair. It really is. If you don't have a support group at home supporting you, you know, it's very rare that you succeed at it. It really is. Because, I mean, if I had, you know, if I had my family at home going, hey, you need to get off the road, you need to come home, and it's happened before, you know, where Mrs. Ice was just over it, you know. and I've come off the road and I went local and did the 9 to 5 thing, and then, but at the end of the day, man, a couple months, a year down the road, you get that little itch, get back out on the road, get back out on the road, get back out on the road. And that's what I do, So, but as a family, we're more used to it now, and we can plan around things and make things happen, make things work, So just realize that you need to talk to it has to be a family discussion, Realize the kids are going to be sick. Your wife's going to be doing 100% of the work at home. Really, she is, and you're going to be parked in a truck stop somewhere in burnt Scrotum, New Mexico, in 19-degree weather, not able to help her except just give her encouragement over the phone. So realize that out the gate. To the money, they're going to say, oh, you're going to make this, you're going to make this, you're going to make this. Realize your first year in trucking, you're not going to make anything. You're really not. You're going to be making a lot of rookie mistakes. You need to adapt. Your body needs to adapt to what you're asking it to do. Different sleep patterns, different sleep shifts. If you're running your clock correctly, you're going to constantly be jumping your sleep patterns. You're going to be going from morning to like a swing shift scenario to a graveyard scenario, back to days. That's how it operates. Now I haven't been in reefer for a long time. My only reefer experience was for 1 year, and that was at Stevens Transport out of Dallas, Texas. Shout out to D-Raj. He's over there making it happen. I do not know how that dude is a fleet owner over at Stevens, but hey, hats off to that dude. He's doing it over there. Stevens Transport's a good company. It really is. Not for me at this stage in my career, but as far as a first go training company, they're pretty good. Reefer and dry van tend to have really weird delivery and pickup hours. So you're going to have to be at a shipper at 10 o'clock in the morning. Next time you're going to be delivering at 3 in the morning, and you have to adjust per your route as you're driving this to make sure, even though you loaded at 10 a.m. in the morning, when you get across country, to where you're delivering, your appointment time might be 2 o'clock in the morning, and you're going to have to adapt to that. So that's another thing that's hard, and then get back to your pay. Your first year, not going to be making a lot of money. And just expect that. So before you come out, try to have your finances in order. Try to have a low debt situation. And I know everybody can't do that. I understand that, But the less bills you have at home and the less you can spend on the road, try to stay out of the truck stops. Try to do all that. You're in these truck stops, man, and the only thing a truck stop is geared for is to get your money. Hands down. This is not bought at a truck stop, but anyway, just realize that you need to stay on a budget and really save. Now, once you get your year behind you, you're kind of established in the industry as a trucker. You know what I mean? Granted, you're still green. And look, I've been driving a long time, and I'm not one of those guys who goes, la, 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 super trucker. Don't work that way, dude. And I mean, there's some guys out there that are that way, and they're just phenomenal super truckers. But I learn stuff every day. I really do. I mean, there's times every day or every load that something doesn't go right, or it stumps me, or I get myself in a situation like, how am I going to get out of here? How am I going to back out of this situation? And I've been doing it a long time. Like I said, I don't consider myself an expert. I've been in it a while. But then you hear guys that are talking that they got like a year, 2 years experience. They're like, oh, I'm a veteran. Well, really? So, I mean, I still don't consider myself a veteran. I still consider myself learning, So realize that. So, but once you get your year behind your belt, in the industry eyes, you're established. And they like to see that. They don't like to see people, a month here, a month there, 2 months here, 4 months here, jump, they don't like to see that, man, because they're going to be like, well, wait a minute. You don't have a good track record. Why are we going to hire you? You know, when the distinct possibility is you're going to leave due to your track record. You know what I mean? And a lot of these companies, man, they're just not going to waste the time or energy on you. You know what I mean? And you might be a hell of a driver, you know. So I think the reason that people get those kind of records is they're not prepared. You know what I mean? They haven't thought it through. You know, there was a time when I was at Prime, when I was a trainer at Prime, and I had a guy, you know, sitting in the truck, and you know, again, he was a good dude, and his heart was in it. But I'll be honest with you, man, the guy was broke. He had like 4 or 5 kids at home. Wife calling him all the time, just complaining, nag. And you know, this guy's trying to learn, you know. So now he's trying to figure out how to get a big truck down the road and stay between the lines and not kill us or somebody else. Now he's got all this stuff in his head where, you know, all this stuff is, you know, as far as he knows, is, you know, falling apart at home, you know. And that will lower your success rate, you know, because he ended up washing out, you know. And I don't blame the guy. I don't blame it at all, you know. I mean, poor dude's out here trying to do a job and trying to learn, and, you know, he ended up having to go home, you know. So just really, really think about what you're getting into. You know, you're not going to be home a whole lot the first time. I mean, your first 2 to 3 months is going to eat a lot of training time, and then they're going to want you to go out with a trainer, you know, and then you're going to have to go out with another trainer for another segment. And so, you know, expect to be away from your family the first time that you go out to your new trucking company, at least 3 months, at least, you know. But it's going to be hard, man. It's like, you know, it's like being in the military when you deploy. I mean, these guys are gone for a year, 6 months, 8 months on deployment, you know. So they got it worse than we do in a way. So I'm just, I'm just trying to give you some knowledge on this to where you have a better idea of what's really heading your way, man. You know, and but you know, if I can do it, any of all you guys can do it, and I got through it. You know what I mean? And I've had my trials where I came off the road. I went local for a year. Then I went over the road again, came back home. Then I was in a wrecker for a long time. Now, granted, I was majority time being in a heavy wrecker. I was local, but I still ran out of state. Oregon, Washington, New Mexico, Arizona. I mean, hell, I even went to Baltimore from California and towed a truck back from Baltimore, you know, cross country. So, you know, you do get out there. But also try and figure out what you want to do as far as the trucking industry when you're getting into it. Do you want to do flatbed? Do you want to do tanker, reefer, dry van, whatever it is? You know, try to figure out what would interest you more, because if you're interested in something as opposed to just jumping into any old company and you realize you don't like reefer, you know, like I hate reefer. I don't even know if I can go back to it. Maybe I could, I'm not sure. I prefer flatbed, man. I got great appointment times, and you know, I don't have to worry about none of the stuff these reefer guys go through, the long wait times. I mean, every now and then I'll wait a while. Nothing like reefer, you know. And then they got lumper problems, and then they got product problems, and they have to, no, not interested. Hats off to you reefer guys, because you're doing something I don't want to do, you know. So anyway, just try to have a good idea of, you know, or a better understanding of what you're going to actually go through when you get out here on the road, because you know, what that recruiter's telling you is up. I'm sorry, I haven't met a recruiter yet, and I've talked to a lot of them, where they don't church it up, you know, and give you some, you know, glorified, you know, thing of what you're going to be doing out here, you know. But when you do get out here and you do make it and you do get on the road, you are part of a brotherhood and an industry that really, you know, and I know everybody says that sounds corny and stuff, but really, we do keep America running. Every last one of us, man. I mean, this country stops, absolutely stops without us, you know. Hats off to the reefer guys. You know, I was watching a report the other day that said if truck drivers just stopped and got out of their trucks, didn't run, New York City would be out of food in 24 hours. Honest to God. It's a constant supply of food going into these big cities, you know, and you will have absolute chaos if that was to stop. So you are doing, in my opinion, a very noble service, you know, keeping this country moving. So kudos to you guys, and kudos to the new guys getting into this industry, you know, and don't be afraid to ask questions, man. You know, you hear guys all the time, stupidest question is the one you never asked, you know, and it'll help you out here, you know, and you know, just realize if you can get through your first year, which is going to be hard, realize it's going to be hard, you know, but that first year will fly by. You'll have your footing, things go a lot easier, in my opinion. So appreciate you guys watching. Definitely remember to hit like and subscribe on here if you like what I'm doing. Hey, if you don't like what I'm doing, I don't care either. Leave me a comment. Tell me I'm screwing up. So I appreciate you guys stopping by here. And, you know, please let me know how you like the video. And we'll keep them coming. And you guys be safe out there. We'll talk at you.